weekly market update and forecast. Today is Monday, the 24th of August. Can't believe it's almost September. This year flew by. So let's take a look at rates real quick, see where we're at. So not a very good week for rates. We got a lot of stuff going on with Iran. Oil prices are up again. Slapping tariffs on Canada. Dropping bombs on Iran. Oil spiked. You have Treasury doing buybacks, which means that they're trying to keep interest rates down, but it's not really helping. So you can see what's going on with mortgage rates. The one that I like to look at here is the MBA weekly survey, the MND News actual daily average, the blue line here. That is the daily average of rates, kind of what's going on day to day. You can see there's quite a bit of volatility, but rates have done nothing but gone higher over the last few months, mainly because of what's going on in Iran right now, which is pressuring oil and inflation. Also, there was a little bit of news about our national debt hit 40 trillion, which is definitely not good. So that's going to put upward pressure on interest rates as well. So it's, obviously impacting the housing market. You have a lot of people that are hoping for lower rates. I personally think it's a great time to buy right now because while rates are high, that's not optimal. It makes affordability a little bit tougher. It keeps a lot of people out of the market right now. So there's less competition. You're basically in the buyer's, the driver's seat. As a buyer right now, you can get reductions in list prices. You can get seller credits. So it's basically a very good time to buy, in my opinion. So let's look at new construction. A lot of people kind of looked at that to go, there's not a lot of inventory out there for what they want. So they look at new homes. Some of the builders are offering pretty big incentives, to, either lower interest rate or credits against closing costs. But what's interesting, if you look at permits there, they're actually a little bit higher month over month, up 5%. That's pretty strong. Up 3% year over year. It's okay, not that strong. Basically, what that means is builders look out probably a year, 2 years. They see whether or not there's enough demand for their homes. They get permits for building new homes, and then they actually start construction on those homes, which is the second label there. But you look at starts, you look at construction, you look at completions. All three of those are down dramatically. So what does that mean? That means that supply in the future is going to be constrained, especially if rates drop. And then if you have an uptick in demand, you're not going to have enough homes out there, either in new construction or in existing homes. And this graph here is pretty interesting. So this basically looks at builders' residential supply is beginning to match demand. They see that demand's weak over the last couple of years. They haven't been building as many homes. So the thought process that there's a ton of inventory out there on new construction, they're just building new homes all over the place, is not true. There's just not enough homes out there. Even in Florida, there's not enough homes to meet demand. And the way I like to characterize it is, if you're out there looking at a home, you don't have a lot of homes in the market. You don't find what you're looking to buy, even though there's homes available, you're just not going to buy it. So that home sits there for a while until the price is reduced. Maybe it's not an attractive home that people are looking for. They're looking for a house with a pool. It doesn't have a pool. There's just not enough inventory out there, even in new construction. And you can see how that supply, even in new construction, has really gone down. So that's going to make it difficult in the future for people to find homes that they want to buy. And when you have increased demand in the future, assume that you do decrease supply, what does that mean? That means higher prices. So not good for the pricing outlook. Now let's take a look lastly at pending home sales index. So, demand is still weak out there. Not sure what's going on with my internet. Anyway, so pending home sales is still pretty weak. These are basically homes that are under contract to be sold. Not surprising, with rates a little bit higher, a lot of volatility in the market with regard to rates right now, because like I said, what's happening with Iran and oil and our national debt at 40 trillion, people are just kind of waiting to see, what's going to happen with all that. So month over month, pending home sales are down 2%, 2.3% year over year, down 2.2%. I mean, really, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that bad. That's not much of a decrease given what's going on. But I don't have this chart here, but maybe later in the week I'll bring it up. Sales in Florida are actually pretty decent right now. They're actually doing really well. They're beginning to tick up. And one of the indicators that I like to look at is the number of months supply on the market right now. So last year, it was about 5.6 months of supply on the market. Currently, it's about 4.5 months, which basically means that there's not enough supply out there to meet demand. It's not wiping out the inventory, but it's causing it to be at the lower end of what we consider to be a normal range. So anyway, that's about it. Pretty resilient market given what's going on right now. We've got a lot of negative stuff out there leaning on rates. And in that first graph, like right here, you can see kind of what's happening with rates. Oh, sorry about that. Really beginning to push rates up a little bit higher. So, but still, I think all in all, a pretty decent market with what's going on. So, anyway, you guys have any questions or need pre-approvals or just questions about anything, feel free to reach out to me. Always available. You guys have a good week. Thanks.